Did you know that some of the biggest food brands in your pantry were once owned by cigarette companies? Today, we're talking about how big food shapes our choices and how we can break the grip. We can support our local farmers, we can grow our own food, and we can start choosing whole foods. Have you ever looked up who actually owns your favorite food brand? Let me know in the comments below. Now, do you remember that moment when you flipped over a package and you read the ingredients and you went, "What am I reading a chemistry textbook right now?" And you start digging into what the words mean. I mean, that was my spark when I started digging into ingredients lists. It really made me think I need to look around locally. I need to find connections to real food. I need to start with some plants and seeds and try this thing called gardening. Now, that was back when I first became a mom 7 years ago. I mean, literally, something just snapped in me that I needed to do this. So let's talk a little bit about the tobacco companies. They bought major food brands in the 1980s and 1990s. Philip Morris once owned Kraft, Nabisco, and General Foods. RJR, the maker of Camel cigarettes, owned Nabisco for years. Why? Because snack foods, sugar, and hyperpalatable products use the same addiction science. They use the same research, bliss point engineering, marketing targeted at kids, packaging to trigger our impulse buying. So, shout out, what was your favorite childhood snack? And what do you go for now? Let us know in the comments. So, how does big food work today? Tons of consolidation, right? A handful of corporations control packaged foods, seeds, pesticides, grocery store shelf space, advertising pipelines. Okay, processing equals profit. The more steps a food goes through, the more money corporations make. But what about the farmers? Okay, a tomato in your backyard has no shareholders to please, right? It's all you. Large companies flood neighborhoods with cheap, shelf stable foods. Marketing convinces people these foods are normal, fast, easy. Tell me, what processed foods are your weakness? Let me know in the comments. So let's support local farmers. Let's grow our own food to our best ability. We are able to use the internet resources provided for us to search for these things. Buying local keeps money in your community. It helps families put food on the table, right? Fresh, higher nutrient contents. Small farmers help take care of the soil underneath our feet. Okay, we have to think about regenerative, building soil, and having biodiversity. When we have healthy soil, the plant has a healthy immune system. So when the human or animal eats it, we have a healthy immune system. So what are we going to do? Small changes make big changes. Okay, growing herbs, right? Adding it to some rice, reducing the dependence on packaged seasonings, growing greens, less plastic waste, fewer preservatives. Um, there's nobody putting things in my greens, if you know what I'm saying, in my garden, okay, like maybe at the store. Growing root crops is true pantry staples, getting back to basics. Every raised bed, every garden, every container, every bucket is an act of rebellion. Are you with me? Okay. Convenient swaps, like I said, herbs with your rice. Instead of buying a bottled dressing, make one. Now, I'm not a vinaigrette person, but I'm okay with some oil, olive oil or avocado oil, some lemon, some salt and pepper, a little bit of mustard, honey, those types of things. Make your own broth. It can be bone broth, veggie broth, homemade versus boxed. Home cooked snacks versus prepackaged processed things. Tell me, what's one processed item you've swapped out for a homemade or garden grown version? Let's talk about ideas and get the conversation going. So, how are we going to rebuild our local food system between us and them? Our farmers markets, our community supported agriculture farms. So CSA is what it's referred to. That is where we need to go. Maybe there's some kind of community garden that they just grow to share. Maybe you want to grow a garden and you can connect with a local gardening community, or you see somebody has a garden, you could just ask, hey, could you help me for my first year? Let's help each other. Let's get more city councils to start food forests and parks. Okay. If you're looking for farms near you, there's a couple things we can do. Again, sorry, the internet, right? The internet has so many places you could go. USDA's local food directory is a great place. I will put a link in the description where you click it and it's going to bring up a map and it's going to take you to farmers markets. You can even go to a search engine and type your state and farmers markets and it'll bring you a directory usually. Sometimes you can look up um, different you pick farms. So like you can pick strawberries, apples. I feel like there's another one I'm missing. Around here, I'm talking about in Minnesota. You can drive to them when they're in season and pick produce there. There's also this whole community supported agriculture conversation. So like here there's one, oh, they're 45 minutes away from me. But they do drive to different farmers markets. And what happens is in the beginning of the year, kind of like when you get your tax return, they offer membership signups and you can do a half share or a full share, and they explain what comes in the box, how often does it come, is it once a week, and what else do they partner with on their farm. Like this one, they have a flower bouquet that you can add to your bundle. They have honey, they have is it beef and pork that they offer from other farms, but they're the hub. Like you just drive there to get your boxes of things and then go home. You can drive to a separate dairy place for dairy. You can drive to the egg farm. Maybe they do local deliveries on Wednesdays and you can get put on the drop-off list, right? Um, localharvest.org. That's a website I can link below. You should be able to find something near you with that website. And then again, in a search engine, type find a farmer's market near me. And that's also going to bring up something because it's going to go by your location that can help you to connect you. So the thing that worked for us is going to the farmer's market, getting to know the farmer at the table and figuring out where they are. Were they actually local or were they driving in 30 minutes? And then talking about buying in bulk. Like we bought maple syrup by the case. Honey is another one because we can just stick that on the pantry shelf then and we're good for a little while. Can we just go to their farm and buy? Or do we have to meet them at the farmer's market? Because what if the farmer's market didn't meet up one day, but we really wanted that thing? Maybe we could meet with them outside of that day, right? So having that relationship. We found a potato and onion farm a couple counties over. We found a local sweet corn patch. So we know when we follow their social media when they're going to have the corn for sale, when it's going to have the freezer sale, things like that. Breaking big food isn't about perfection, okay? It's about awareness, choice, and taking small steps. Growing our own food, buying from real farmers, and choosing whole foods creates healthier families and healthier communities. So, before we go, I want to leave you with this. Every time I walk past my pantry and we see those jars of things that I've grown, tomatoes. I've even canned things that I didn't grow, things that I got at the farmer's market or bought on sale, like when there's 99-cent pineapple, and I've canned those. I make broth every week now, but I haven't learned pressure canning, so it is in my freezer, what I don't use. Drying the herbs in the kitchen. The food that I grew myself. I am reminded of that younger me. She had no idea that one day she would be growing food for her family in this capacity, growing my own medicine, growing my own seasonings, having my own food freedom, and learning as I grow. Okay, if gardening and learning together here on Shawnee Grows has helped you even a little, I'd love to invite you to become a member. It is 99 cents a month. Memberships help support the books we review, the seeds we grow, the research, the time it takes to bring into every show. And if you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe so you don't miss out on the next live stream, on the next video upload. We grow every day in every way around here. If you want to keep digging deeper into taking back your food system, I've linked a video talking about how to build the garden that keeps you fed. So I'll see you there.